Deputy President Paul Mashatile is visiting one of the biggest agricultural exhibitions in Africa. That's the Nampa Harvest Day in Bothaville in the Free State. Over 15,000 people have been attending this week-long event. Newzroom Afrika Ziniko Mhlaba is there for us. The Deputy President doing a walkabout. Let's take you there live.
So the Deputy President is here and at Bothaville in the Free State. He's currently doing a walkabout, just engaging with various stakeholders here. And of course, we do see some members of the public as well. You know, they are taking some pictures as well. So this has been part of engagements between government and of course the private sector, especially the sector responsible for commercial farming in South Africa now, who's walking around with the Grain SA individuals who have been able to engage with the Deputy President. So we will be trying to have a conversation with him as he's walking around just to get his experience in terms of how he's finding things on the ground as well. So it's a bit unstable in terms of the visuals that we are taking here live, and as we try to have a conversation with the engagements here. But you know, from the morning we started with a private meeting between a close meeting between the Deputy President, members of Grain SA, commercial farmers as well, such as Grain SA. But also now we do understand that after this particular walk around, the Deputy President will then have media engagements. That's when we can be able to engage him further in terms of the questions we might have. There are so many things that the Deputy President might like to comment on. Firstly, the main issue which was also raised by those individuals who have fled to the USA as refugees, was citing the issue of the expropriation bill which was passed in South Africa, and of course having the Deputy President who has been very vocal when it comes to issues of land reform in South Africa might have to have a go at that. But you also know that there is a confirmed meeting between the executive of South Africa and also the executive of the US President, which is going to take place just after around on the 20th and beyond in the USA. So this is going to be a very important reform. Elsewhere, there was a panel discussion that was happening. So let's just take a breather as we try to find a way if we can get closer to the Deputy President.
Ziniko, I understand this is the largest gathering of its kind. Is it in the Southern Hemisphere? Can you give us a sense of the kinds of discussions that have been taking place there this week? Of course, we know the agriculture sector is under a lot of pressure given where South Africa-US relations are, particularly citrus growers, for example.
So the engagements, Michelle, have been very, very productive, especially those that have taken place here. Let me start with the engagements which have taken place here. As the Deputy President was walking around, there was a panel discussion that was taking place there. And the Deputy President was quoted because some of those individuals who were panelists there, such as Herman Pretorius from IISS, were talking about the extreme messaging that is coming out from members of the executive, saying that politicians have been using very extremist language or terminology when they deal with the issues of the conversation. So let's try to get closer to some of the officials. Deputy President, thank you very much for your time. Ziniko from Newzroom Afrika. We're live.
Yeah, Newzroom.
So we're just working as well, working Deputy President. How are you finding the experience, President?
Well, it's amazing. This is a very big expo. All aspects of agriculture, as you can see, equipment, processing systems, and new technologies. It's something that we as government will continue to partner with. We're going to work with them. Some of the challenges that the farmers have, particularly have to do with rural roads that need to be upgraded, but also important things like access to markets, access to capital. We just came through AFGRI, which is helping particularly emerging farmers with how they can access capital. But some of them have a challenge because they don't have title deeds on the land they have. So we as government are going to help them with that. Because once you have a title deed to your land, you can use it as a collateral to access funding. So those are some of the things.
Deputy President, the beautiful picture that I'm seeing here, you walking around with the private sector, commercial farmers, it seems as if there's a great relationship. How important is that in terms of trying to explain land policies such as expropriation, having all the stakeholders on the same page?
It's very important because partnership between the private sector and government is going to make us to be able to do more. The agricultural sector is growing, but we want to push it higher to become one of the bigger contributors to GDP because these commercial farmers are exporting as well. So it's food security, it's exporting, but also there's a lot of transformation taking place where black farmers and white farmers are coming together, partnering. We encourage that and we're going to work with them.
Are you finding common ground in terms of understanding of the expropriation bill and how what it seeks to achieve generally? Because there are some farmers and unions such as Solidarity who are against it. But here I see you working very well with Agri-SA and other private sector stakeholders who are responsible for the commercial farmers. How are you finding that, and how important is it that all stakeholders, private sector, government, are able to send a clear message to the international community in terms of issues of land seizures and expropriation bills?
Well, we are working together with the farmers, as you can see. I did explain earlier on that there are no land grabs in South Africa. We are working together, we are partnering and so on. So we continue with those discussions. There's a panel discussion now that Minister McPherson has gone to deal with those issues. Minister Steenhuisen is coming later on. So we'll continue to talk to the farmers so that we understand one another and what we want to do. We are quite happy together.
Okay, let's release you, DP, so that you can continue with your conversation. So that's the update we are getting from the DP. But now we see him just taking a picture with some of the individuals here. He's been able to engage publicly with some members of the community, such as this gentleman who's on a wheelchair wanting or requesting a picture with the Deputy President. He's very, very happy, and of course, that the Deputy President is simply agreeing and obliging to take a picture, but also an official there from Agri-SA and some MECs. Here's MEC from Gauteng. Here's also taking a picture with the individuals here. So it's a beautiful family day type of a setup that we're having here, as we see different stakeholders communicating. So, as he said, as the Deputy President has just said, that later on, the Minister of Agriculture, Mr. John Steenhuisen, will be coming here. Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure is already here. He has been engaging, he has been participating at that panel discussion that is looking at the expropriation land, and he has been explaining position of government. And obviously, it was not a smooth sailing trip for him, but he managed to hold the fort on behalf of government. So that's the latest. We'll continue going through with the Deputy President as he is talking to different stakeholders, then as we will be awaiting for that official media engagement.